Bear with me here. I don't have a microphone, so bear with me. Hopefully you all can you hear me back there, Al? Am I all right? Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. This is fantastic. I didn't expect this much of a crowd, but this is really great. Where's Sam? Where's Sam go?
He went outside to get
There he is. We can't get started without you, big fella. I know. You're working the crowd. Always working the crowd.
He's actually looking for a microphone.
Hey, if there's somebody that doesn't need a microphone, it's Sam. He'll be fine. He'll be just fine. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Steve Watson. I'm the athletic director here at St. Bonaventure, and on behalf of everyone at Bonas, I'd like to welcome you to what's going to be a really, really special event. An event that I think a lot of us might say is a long time coming. While Tom and Sam Stith were both great players, they were very different as people. Some may say almost opposites. Tom was tall, quiet, unassuming off the court. And Sam, he's not exactly short. He's shorter than Tom, but he's definitely not quiet and unassuming. But he possesses those same winning qualities and skills that made the Stiths such great, special basketball players. And the Stiths were special. The Stiths were special to their neighborhood back in Harlem, special to St. Francis Prep, and definitely special to St. Bonaventure University. These guys were legends. These guys are legends. Unfortunately, over time, people have a tendency to forget. And our job, what we're doing here today, is we're reminding everyone, making sure we don't forget how special Tom and Sam Stith were, how special they are, and how special they always will be to St. Bonaventure University. Now, as you know, stuff like this, things like what we're doing today, they don't just happen. It takes some work, and believe me, there are plenty of people working to make sure we remember the Stiths, in particular their classmates, led by John Foote, who led the charges, and I know John's in here today. I see Jim Kendrick. Jim's extremely passionate about this. And there are countless others who've been involved, who've supported this financially, and who have come out in force today to be here for the unveiling of a great memorial to Tom and Sam. One thing we kept hearing as we were going through this is make sure it's visible. And other than, I think, putting it right down on center court, I don't think we could have gotten it much more visible than right here. Make sure it stands out. We heard make sure it stands out. You'll see in a few minutes, you can't walk the halls here without seeing the mural. In a really short period of time, we've been able to do something that I think you'll agree is really special and the perfect tribute to the Stiths. So again, we make sure nobody forgets. Before we pull back the curtain, there's someone else who's going to share some words with us, someone who's developed a strong relationship with the Stith family, someone who truly appreciates the huge part the Stiths have played in the history of St. Bonaventure's athletics. And that person's the president of St. Bonaventure, Sister Margaret Carney.
Steve, thank you very, very much. The time is right for this appropriate and very necessary recognition for two men who did so much for St. Bonaventure basketball. Their history as two boys from New York City whose parents died young but were inspired by the Franciscans to come here is a part of Bonaventure legend. They are the second gift of Brooklyn to St. Bonaventure. Some of you may not realize that the first took place 10 years after the founding of the university, when the Italian friars who had first come here began to have difficulties with all of the state regulations and a lot of pressure to go to parish work. And so they sent for a group of Franciscan men who understood teaching and running schools. And those were the Franciscan Brothers of Brooklyn, who sent 5 men here who basically rescued the university. And Father Joe Butler, whose statue stands in front of the library with a kid playing baseball, is one of those brothers. So they saved the university at an early time, and the Stith brothers came back to repeat that history in our lifetime. And we're very, very grateful. What this beautiful mural focuses on is not only their sports accomplishments, but their personal lives and characters as men. How they handled prejudice with class and dignity. I had the privilege of addressing the mourners at Tom's funeral. And I told them that the night before the funeral, I was amazed to see that on one of the channels they were showing that old favorite, Remember the Titans. And it just, I love the movie, but it burns me up that that team gets all the story about overcoming prejudice and you know, crossing those color lines. And I said on the day of Tom's funeral, I want a movie called Behold the Bonnies. And I want it soon because I think Denzel Washington should play one of them, and he's getting old. In all seriousness, their story, and as they will be the first to testify, the story of their white teammates really deserves to be written in gold in Bonaventure history. We hold them up and we revere all of that team for that accomplishment. And so, the mural we are about to unveil will tell us how they took a good basketball program and made it great, setting a standard of excellence for all who have followed and will follow in the future. And so at this moment, I have the privilege of asking you, Sam, Gladys, Tom's widow and the loving wife who accompanied him through all those years, his daughter Lisa, also a Bonnet grad, and Karen Stith, and Virginia, his sister, to please come forward, and our athletics leaders will lead you in unveiling this wonderful mural.
And Sam's daughter Sandy is also here. And go ahead, Sam. You're gonna pull it back. Right here, in the middle, I believe. Sorry. Pull it back.
All right, guys.
Oh, Brother Ed Coughlin, our Vice President for the Franciscan Mission, will come up and bless the mural.
To bless something is to claim it for God, for all that is good, and for all that is true. As we bless this space, we claim it for that, and these two great men hopefully will remind all who pass by to always strive for greatness and goodness in their lives every day. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Now, everyone needs to get really comfortable because I'm going to ask Sam to come up and share a few words with us. Sam.
Thank you. This
on behalf of my family. This is very moving, as you can understand. And I want to thank Steve and Sister Margaret for always, since they've been here, is keeping the memory alive of the big fella in me. And my classmates, at St. Bonnie's, my class, they didn't treat me like I was a basketball player. They treated me as one of the students. And which we cried together on rules. We had fun, did a lot of good things. But most important, this represents the guys we played with also. Tom and always appreciated the fact that our teammates was part of our success. We just stood out a little bit more because we were well trained in the game of basketball. In Harlem, Fred Crawford, Tom, myself, we always played against bigger guys and older guys. You would call them mentors today. And they always told us that when you're playing against a team, you not only win the game, but you beat them so they remember you. So, it don't get no better than this in remembering this. Tom and I, we had a pretty tough life, but it was fun life. St. Francis Prep came into our lives after my mother had passed. And Brother Tim, who's up there with Tom now, and they're both quiet. I don't know what they're talking about. Gave us an opportunity, came to my sister, and gave us an opportunity to go to St. Francis Prep. Now, how they came about is when we were in junior high school, someone had asked us to play the varsity of St. Francis Prep, which was Joe Quigg, All-American, Cashel Perry's, St. John's, Buddy Pascal. So we went to Brooklyn to play them, and we got into the gym. They were down there all nice, pretty white uniforms, and he had a referee, scoreboard, and they wanted to show us the locker room, and we said that we don't do locker rooms when we're away, because we always wore our uniform and sneakers to those games, because after the game we have to usually run. We made them use lockers because you couldn't get out of a locker that quick. And now we're in Brooklyn, my first time in Brooklyn. Right? And I'm trying to figure out, that's a long run to Harlem, but we mapped it out. We mapped up in the gym, the subway. All right, so we had already just figured out. We beat them. We beat them by 15 points, and we beat them. And the ref came out and said, that was a good workout for them. I said, for them? I said, we got to go. We got another 2 games before we go home. It was like a workout. And then Brother Tim came in our life with the Franciscans. And he came to Harlem, spoke to my sisters, my God rest my other sister with Tom. Ironic enough, she's quiet too. So I don't know what they're talking about. So he sort of asked me what I'd like to be the first African American to play at St. Francis Prep. So I acknowledged I'd like to be the second, because I was in the Jackie Robinson era, and I knew what happened to him. But he says, no, Tom will be second, because you're going to be on the varsity, he's going to be on the freshman team. And my sister made it clear, my sister Virginia, that we were package deal, that wherever one go, the other go. That later on in life became very instrumental. So we went to St. Francis Prep, and we weren't Catholic, but Brother Tim said we're going to be honorary Catholics while we're there. And he said, after you leave, you're not an honorary Catholic. We came here and joined the big team. So with that in mind, my first day at St. Francis Prep with Tom, my sister always said, be nice, don't be a wise guy, and take care of Tom. I heard that from day one. So my first day at the prep, Brother Tim forgot to tell us, not only will be the only basketball players, the only African-American students in the school. We got a little nervous with that. So staying outside, never forget this, the Hooks. By the way, Don Newhook was at Carmen Hayes. We played against him. Mike Straw, these guys we played against who became our teammates. Sorry about that. So my first day, big guy comes up to me and says, how did you get from Harlem to St. Francis? So my sister always say, sir. I said, sir, we took the A train. We went upstairs and took the Canarsie line. Briggs Avenue, we walked 2 blocks over. He goes, no, you were in public school, yeah? Well, how'd you get in public school? This is private school. So we took the A train. Went upstairs into the Canarsie line and walked 2 blocks to Briggs Avenue. And he went shaking his head, walking away. And I kept remembering what my sister said, be nice. Be nice. All right, so that was okay. My first day in the locker room at the prep, when I walked in, it was the same guys we beat up on. And I went, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So they went like this. This was weird. I sit in a corner by myself. No one talked to me. And my thought was they couldn't take a joke. So they didn't talk to me. They tried to take it out in practice, but that didn't work. That's practice 101. That didn't work. So eventually, I went down and asked Tom. I said, how'd you make out with the team? He goes, the coach told the kid, give me the ball. I went, oh. There it started. Give me the ball. And he says, because I was the tallest guy on the team, right? So the season started, and Tom was raising havoc as a freshman. So somebody league-wide says he can't play freshman, he's got to go up to the varsity. No JV to the varsity. Here lies the problem for me. I was 10th man on the team. I got in on garbage time. Tom came up, I became the 11th man. Tom became the 10th man, and we got in on garbage time. I used to get in with 3 minutes to go in the game, and garbage time. Then it got to 2 minutes, because Tom was taking my time. He was taking my stuff. And I sit there, and I had a problem with this. I could have went to Commerce and played with Kyle Ramsey. I had a problem with this. So Tom never said a word. And I moaned and groaned all the way home. I didn't come here to do this. He just, and Brother Tim, he walked by one and he said, be patient, right? And he was so calm and effective in my life that I rethought this process. And then he pulled my tail and said, by the way, a lot of these guys graduated in January. You couldn't complain because we were winning. But Tom would get in the game with 3 minutes to go, and I'd get in with 2 minutes to go, and I can brag now. Those are the most exciting 3 minutes people ever saw. On garbage time, people actually waited. They didn't leave the seats until garbage time was over. And I hate to use that word garbage time because they were usually up, that's when we got in. And I got in with 2 minutes ago, so he was already warmed up. And we raised havoc. I mean, done. So then those guys graduated. Tom moved up to be 7th man. I became 8th man. And it's always that way, He was number 1 scorer. I was number 2 scorer, So my junior year, we took over. We won 31 games that year, 31 in a row. Undefeated. City championships, national championship. Accolades, first team, everything. First brother actor to be on All-Americans in high school, so forth and so forth. And I was a fan of my brother, besides being his brother, but I was a fan. I saw him do things that I practiced hard. He didn't have that problem. It was like gifted, I'd be sweating that word. He'd be like, no sweat, no towel, no, I don't need a towel. And then our senior year, we lost our first game of the year. I mean, it was devastating, Holy Trinity. Holy Trinity, we beat them so many times in garbage time, but those guys weren't garbage anymore, they were with us, starting 5, right? So they beat us, and the word got out that they should not play us again, because then the beatings take over. So then we won 30 games in a row, city championship, national championship, and then I was offered a lot of scholarships to go to college. They would go like this: you're a great ball player, we want you to come to this school, providing you bring your brother. The word about this package deal got around. Oh, you were tremendous in the garden. we want you to come here, we're gonna give you a lot, I don't have any tattoos, by the way. We're gonna give you this, we're gonna give you that, we're gonna give you this, and give you that, provided you bring your brother. They couldn't hardly remember his name, but your brother. It got to the point that the Stith brothers, a lot of people thought it was Tom's nickname. In our early days, you know, no one hardly knew who we were. It's Stith brothers. And one game, we played against St. Augustine, and the guy comes in the car and he says, "What number is the Stith brothers?" I go, number 30. Blonde, 6'5". He went over there at halftime. Bill Sheehan looked at me like, "They beating up on me." I said, "Well, you're the Stith brother, man." He go, "What are you talking about?" Never mind. By that time, the guy had realized what had happened. He was a little upset with me. It didn't matter because I had a big fellow with me, so it didn't matter. But so now we're getting all these offers to college. But my family, we had already made up our minds that based on what the Franciscan did for us in St. Francis, that no matter what the offer was, and I'm talking about it was some nice offers, that we're going to Franciscan school, which the first choice would have been St. Francis College in Brooklyn, because Danny Lynch, who was one of my favorite people, was coaching. And Brother Sebastian was over there. He had taught me. But I had a classmate at St. Francis. He said, "I'm going to send you up to St. Bonaventure because my brother's up there, Brendan McCann. He's a star up there. You're going to be a star up there. I'm sending you up there." I said, "All right." So Eddie Donovan came down and says, "Here's what we're going to give you to go to St. Bonaventure. Free education for 4 years, room and board, food, transportation to and from school each semester. You have to go home in emergency, and we're going to try to get you a job while you're there." That was it. Okay. So, Franciscan, most important. So we go there. I talked to Tom, he'd already made up his mind that we were going to go to St. Bonaventure. So we got here, and we didn't have any money. You know, we didn't have any money. And I couldn't ask my sister. So Donovan got me this beautiful job. Remember Butler, when we used to put the chairs up for the movies on Saturday? And take them down on Sunday night? That was my job. $5. $5. I was a businessman then. It cost me $3 because I paid somebody $2 to do it. So then I had great classmates. You gotta say some classmates would help me, you know, doing the chairs. Sam, you know, go down to Burden, we'll do the chairs. You know, but I made money. And I earned it the hard way. During the season, right, we were the hottest ticket in town, and I got 3 tickets to the game. All right, and I sold them for face value. Now, by me face value, a businessman downtown, Olean, I worked a little thing for a nonprofit that raffle off my tickets, and I give a nonprofit a share, which would be 10%. And so I made out that way. Tom met Gladys, and all of a sudden his tickets were going to Gladys and her sisters. I wanted those tickets. And one day we were playing Niagara, and he came to me, he said, "Sam, I need 1 extra ticket for." I looked at him and go, "Are you crazy? This is money." Right? So I worked in a small cafe, I worked as a waiter, and when I first got here, we played, you mentioned Canisius. When I got here, we were taking rules, and they kept, Bob Jones is here. They would say, "You hate Canisius." And I go, "Okay." "You hate Canisius." And okay. So finally I go, "I don't eat them." Canisius, I'm thinking you're saying. I don't eat Canisius. The guy looked at me and goes, "What are you talking about?" "What are you talking about?" I never heard of Canisius. I never heard of the college. I said, "Why would he worry about about me eating Kinesis? I told that story to Hank Nowak, who was a star. He was a senator. I told that story to him 25 years later. He ain't laugh, but that was okay. So we didn't really have a rivalry because our rivalry was ourselves. I was someplace one time, and a guy, very well-off guy, says to me, he said, Sam, he says, you know, when you were at St. Bon's, I went to Niagara, we were your rival. So I said, sir, excuse me, I still use sir. I was trained well. I said, sir, I'm sorry, but we never lost in Niagara. So I don't know how a rivalry takes place without you winning. He had this big long cigar. He go, must have been somebody else. I said, yes, sir. But we had a good run. We had a good coach. You gotta understand, Tom, we had great teammates, but we had two great coaches, high school and college. And they had a simple formula. They coached in practice. When I say coached in practice, we played practice like it was a game. And we didn't joke around. Why didn't we took this game serious in practice. Because he says, when the game starts, all I'm gonna do is substitute timeouts. Y'all execute. And keep in mind, if you don't execute, we look at the film on Tuesday. And that pause button is dangerous. Ma, where are you? He called me Suzanne. Suzanne, where are you supposed to be? I said, nothing. We couldn't make excuses. We worked hard in practice. Chip Keegan at St. Francis Prep, you could smoke on the bench then. We never called timeout. And he'd be on the bench smoking Lucky Strike cigarettes and just looking at us. We usually do about 15 or 20. He didn't have anything to say, but we should try to hide behind the other guy so he wouldn't see us, because he'd go, Joe, go in for Sam. So you should try to hide so he wouldn't see you. So we had a thing. We stopped going to the bench at timeouts. We stayed on the court and wait for the team to come back. This isn't calling timeouts. It's not going to change anything. Come on back and enjoy the smoke. So, but St. Francis gave us the opportunity to succeed in basketball. All my basketball dreams came true. Championships in high school, NIT, pro with the Knicks, Cleveland Pipers, Army. A lot of people know I was in the Army. But I did follow Gervais. When I came to St. Bonnie's, I wasn't Catholic, but I took theology. Maybe some of my classmates were very upset, because I got a B. And they were getting C's. And Father Gervais psychologically said, he's not even Catholic, he's getting B's. You guys better shape up. That wasn't too popular with a few of the classmates. But we had a good run, but we had good people behind us. And we were fortunate. My sisters sacrificed a lot of their lives so me and Tom could succeed. Without them, we in Harlem in those days was very, very difficult. Freddie, you know, we were all there together, right? And it's dangerous. Every place you walk, you were the scene of a crime. There was no CSI came to Harlem. They didn't want to go back a victim. I think they put some of the bodies in a cab, take it to the lab. But we had a good life. Like I said, we had good teammates, and we always were like 7 or 8 deep. It wasn't just 5 players, but our practice players had to know the same thing we did. So in garbage time, they had to do the same plays that we did, right? You couldn't come around fooling around and shooting funny shots. But we had Mike Strawth, who was the first 6th man at St. Bonnie's, right? But we had the most fantastic 6th man you'll ever have in your lifetime. You ever been into the Armory? That crowd that we had, and I had players tell me that I played in the NBA, they said, we were so scared when we left that Armory. And I mentioned to them, you were lucky you left the Armory. Because everything was closed. And these students know all our plays, right, Whitey? They knew our plays, so we messed up. They would say, 2nd man, Whitey. You know? They get mad. They were coaching in the stands, right? When I left St. Bonnie's, Whitey took over the reins, and now he's going to play with what my master plan was, I'll be a senior, Tom be a junior, Fred be a sophomore, and history. But it didn't work out that way, you know, the best laid plans, you know. So Whitey took over, and he asked me, Sam, he said, if you're coming down the court and Tom put his hand up for the ball, and Fred put his hand, what did you do? I said, wave back to him and shoot. If you don't get the rebound, get mad with them. I also want to thank all the contributors to this. Your donations, believe me, this would not have happened. And the blessings from Sister Margaret, Steve Mesh, that whole athletic department, it was very instrumental, bringing back our legacy. And this could go on forever. This is forever for the big fella here, he knows. But right now, the contributors show how much y'all love this, right? And we love y'all, and this love is forever, and an ever and a day. So again, I want to thank everyone for your showing up here today at this alumni weekend. And unfortunately, Monday will be Tom's 1 year, but we good.
Thanks so much to Sam, Gladys, all the Stith family members who made the trip. They brought a bus out from the city. I know they were at the casino last night. Made it today safely, so that's a good thing. But we're all so privileged to have been here today, and we thank everyone for being a part of today's ceremony. We're having a hosting reception down in the Hall of Fame room right after this, but please take your time, get a close-up look at the mural, and hopefully we'll see you down the hall in a few minutes. And we also have some commemorative posters, some replicas of the mural as well for everyone here. So right there over here in the corner. So make sure you get a poster, get a close-up look, take plenty of pictures, and there's food and drinks down in the Hall of Fame. So thank you very much.